I think I'm live. Hey, it's Chris Grimm. It's Deep Work Fast, and it's Tuesday. Actually, you might be listening and watching this anytime because now these are archived on YouTube and Spotify. So who knows? You might be listening to me in the future. I love it. Okay, I'm Chris Grimm. This is Deep Work Fast. And every week I bring you tools, ideas, concepts, content, anything that you might need to be the best that you can be at home and at work in all the roles that you play. Let's get to it because this week I dropped a blog yesterday and it is called Your Natural Talents. And the reason I'm focusing on that, thank you, Heather, Mission Control, for putting that link to the blog in the chat. So if you haven't seen it, you can check that out. I am going to walk you through some things that are in there. But first, let's just talk about why I wrote this blog and why I think this is highly relevant for you to think about. So our natural talents, the things that you're born with, for most people get downplayed, minimized, sometimes forgotten completely in our adult lives. If you think about what happens, we may be even doing it. If you're a parent, you may do this to your children now. You know, we get pretty focused on what is going to help them get a job someday, right? They get through school. We notice all the things that are highly practical that we think are going to end up helping them make money and sustain their life. I'm not saying this is bad. But the bad part, the unintended consequence of a focus on practicality often means that we downplay and minimize a lot of our natural talents. Because guess what? Being good at PowerPoint is not a natural born with talent. Now, you might have talents that help you be creative or help you be organized, help you be a fast thinker. Maybe you're resourceful naturally. And so that ends up translating into practical things. But like I said, what happens is that adults, specifically those of us who work outside the home, end up focusing our attention on being good at practical things to do a job. And because of that, I often, when I'm coaching people, I often run into moments in time, specifically when people are making a transition, maybe leaping into a new career, a new role, maybe the biggest job of their life, or they're getting ready to retire. And those transitions often leave us in a place where the things we were good at for our job, our day job, which we're now attached to because we've been doing them for a really long time. And they help us measure our success every day. Last week, I did a deep work fast on measuring progress and success. And I talked about the inner work, the soft skills. But think about it. We run our lives every day doing a job. And because in our jobs, we want to get things done, usually we're doing very tangible things, writing email, going to meetings, responding to the meeting by doing something. Maybe you send a new email, you make a new PowerPoint, you write a new document or Google Slides, whatever you're using, right? But our jobs, for most of us, are translating into transactional things that require hard skills. Now, we may also have soft skills around that, but let's say your superpowers, like mine, for instance, a lot of my superpowers, those natural talents that I was born with, are really a lot of soft skills, relationship skills, reading people, being able to manage through conflict, thinking of ways to communicate things so people can hear them, taking complex ideas and making them more simplified so people can understand them. Those are some of the things I was born with. And I'll tell you, because I'm going to help you try to find yours or rediscover yours, one of the ways I know that is one of my natural talents that I was born with is because my mom's watching this. Mom, you can tell me, keep me honest on this. But at a very, very young age, I started running school for everyone. tortured my brother with it, who's 3 years younger than me. I would go to the teacher after school. Some of you are probably laughing at me right now, but you won't be surprised because I've had a lot of these skills and I needed to find a practical way to put them into use. And so I would go after school. I would ask the teacher for the extra worksheets that they were throwing away. And I would take them home and then I would run school for my brother. If my brother watches this, he'll probably put some good comments for you here because he didn't necessarily like it, but he did comply. Thank you, John. Anyway, back to you. Somewhere in your childhood, there is proof of your natural abilities. Before they became practical, before someone validated them, like saying, oh yeah, you can do that. Oh, we can put that over here and it can become a job. You'd be great at customer service. We're going to steer you this way. Now, coming back to why I was saying I did this today and wrote the blog is because when I'm meeting with people who are in transition and they're thinking about changing from the job that they've done for a long time, now, well, the world's their oyster. They can potentially do something completely different if they really want to, but they're probably not going to do that because they're going to try and think back to what have I been doing that was highly successful for me. And a lot of that is that tactical work. And so what I'm often trying to do, and I know other people too, is say, wait, stop, time out. Let's listen to your heart because somewhere inside you, your natural talents are still there. And so there are 3 ways. I wrote about them briefly in the blog, but I want to just talk to you about them because I encourage everyone I coach, whether you're in transition or not, to get to know your natural talents again. If you're using them, incredible. But most people are not fully utilizing those natural talents. And your natural born talents actually should be helping you get over that feeling we often have when we're in our job and it feels like a grind. Because the reason our jobs sometimes get monotonous, feel like a hamster wheel or a grind, is because our days are filled with things that are not our natural talent that bring us joy. So 3 ways that you can tap back into your natural born talent. So 1 is a really practical way. Now I work a lot in corporate, so of course I have this. There is an assessment tool that you can use. It is widely available. And in fact, if you buy the book, in fact, Heather, if you can just find the book, StrengthsFinder, I think that's Discover Your Strengths is the name of the book. The Gallup organization is the company that owns that. I think Marcus Buckingham wrote that book. So Heather, if you can search while we're on, that would be great. Put the link. The book actually has an assessment in the back of the book. That's why I'm saying, or a link to the new assessment online so that you can actually take it for free. It's called StrengthsFinder. And the StrengthsFinder does an amazing job of helping you understand your strengths. Now, the assessment's kind of overkill. I'm just going to tell you that because it's going to tell you a whole bunch of strengths. You probably only care about the top 5 or 6. But here's how you'll know if it resonates with you. So you're going to look at it and you're going to go, oh my God, I am totally good at that. Oh, wow, I didn't even know that was a strength. And I don't really use that very much in my job. So the assessment, and like I said, it's not a boring assessment. So don't think I'm asking you to do some weird psychological test or something that you're going to get bad results. No, this is StrengthsFinder. It's going to tell you what you're naturally good at on the inside, and you can start to see what am I actually using on the outside. After you have that information, or if you procrastinate and don't want it, go skip to number 2, because number 2 is actually to ask some people who know you really well, people who have known you for a long time, who have stories. Now, if you can start with your parents or your siblings, and they'll give you a little bit of time. Maybe if you're still best friends with people who have known you from when you were young, Ask them to help you. Like, do you remember like what I loved doing whenever I was young? Thank you, Heather, for the book link. When we're little, our natural born talents, well, we don't think of them as a talent. We just know it's the authentic version of us. That's why I'm saying people who knew you back then, they'll be able to help you find like a little bit of a scavenger hunt into the past of what did you like doing the most? What were you really good at? Were you good at something that potentially was disruptive? That's really important to know, by the way. And I know people whose natural talents didn't fit into school very well. You still want to know about it though, because it was probably then in school that your natural talents got kind of pushed to the side and the practical started, right? Nope, you're going to learn how to do math. You're going to sit at a desk. You're going to do all of those things. And so you can see what happens in our life is if our natural talents don't fit into the mainstream program, whatever one you're in, then they start to be minimized, downplayed, and potentially turned off. You want to find that and reignite those things. The other thing we do is that oftentimes when our kids like to do things, or when we were kids, we like to do things, both, they become extracurricular. And so if in fact, when you were young, maybe you liked building Legos and robots, you liked building things. Maybe you were really, really good at building things without any directions. And so maybe that has translated into your adult life, but maybe it could translate more into your life. I know people who now are, because they're going through a job transition, and I'm helping them rediscover these natural talents, that all of a sudden they're retaking up hobbies that they haven't done for 25 years. And it's making them super happy, bringing joy in their life. And for other people, here's the really good part, who are looking for a new job, I'm always like, let's tap into young you and find out what you really, really love, because chances are at this point in your career, you will be able to take all the skills and experiences you have as an adult and take them over into a job that is related to that natural talent and skill that you had before. For instance, you might be a really great executive in operations of your company, and you may have grown up being an amazing athlete, maybe all the way to D1 in college, but you don't work in sports right now. And I'm going to ask the question, okay, well, why wouldn't you just go take your operations skills and your manager skills and those practical adult things that you've been doing into something that you actually love? Sports, they need people who manage people and do operations too. By rediscovering those natural talents, skills, and affinities, it can bring you back to life. Specifically, if you're feeling exhausted, like I said, hamster wheeled, maybe you've lost your purpose, like your purpose has become making money. That's not any of our purpose, by the way. None of us were put on earth to make money. You were put on earth to do something else, and money might be a positive byproduct of that, but it shouldn't be that in place of your doing something and being super excited about it every day. And I know as I say that, some of you are probably like, I'm so far away from that, I can't even imagine what that is. That's why I wrote the blog. That's why I'm bringing it back in front of you. And the third thing on my list is after you, I hope you take that assessment, grab that book. I hope you ask other people for some input so that they can help you remember. And then the third thing is for you to spend some time alone or with a coach. You know who to call if you need help. Thinking through, like I said, how can I bring that back into my life? How can I open that door, flip the switch, right? How can I reignite that passion that came with me into this place, but I haven't let it be a big part of my life. Now I want to bring it and I want to put it in my life. I want it to help me so that the second half of my life, or if you're young and you're just looking for a career that is, you're connected to, great, awesome. The earlier we can get people doing that, the better. And that's what I also want to say. So if you are a parent or a grandparent and you know young people who are thinking about their careers, I think the world has changed and there's more room now for young people to have jobs that also reflect their natural talents, their born with it passions, right? The things that resonate with their, not just their mind, but their heart. There's a whole, what we call gig economy out there. There are people making real money without having to have a day job where it's corporate and they have to sit in an office and do a whole bunch of tactical things, which, by the way, I'm all in, and I understand we need people to do corporate jobs. And I want people who are doing them to love it, to find a way to find their natural skills and talents and bring it into those environments so we have less hamster wheel, less of a grind, and more happy people working in companies and in industries that are connected to, again, something they love, they're excited about doing, instead of just, you got to get a job and taking the first job that comes. I'm hoping that we encourage our young people to listen to their heart, not just their head and their wallet when they're making these decisions. I actually think the whole world, and be bold here, would be a better place if we had more people super happy about what they were doing. I think the workplace would be more healthy. I think all of you who run HR who are listening would probably be happier too if you had happy people who wanted to be there, were excited to do their work. And, managers would be happy because they wouldn't have to talk them into it. You all get what I'm saying. So I want you to worry about you first. Tap into the natural talents that, like I said, they could be dormant. You could be ignoring them, or maybe they just play a little role in your life. And I want you to just, blow that up, bring it out, magnify it, amplify it. Read the blog, grab that book, Discover Your Strengths, Marcus Buckingham, the Gallup organization. Take the assessment that they give you the link to, or if it's in the book. Start to identify what your strengths are. Get some ideas from other people, and let's bring it into your life and your work. Okay? Okay, that's Deep Work Fast. We'll see you next week. I hope not only to help you be the best you, I want the best you to actually be a happy you. Okay, see you next week. Bye.